What's up, everybody? It's another week. It's another day. It's another dollar. It's another Todd staring me right back into my face. It's so dark in your room, man. Why is it so dark today?
I don't have that light hooked up here. You want me to turn it on?
Yeah, man, you're kind of hiding out. You're kind of blending in with the shadows, like Bane or something. I mean, we are professional after all. But it is another week of Todd, myself, our flashback chats that we like to do, and we just like to talk about whatever, really easy breezy. I don't know if it's been a resurgence or not, but I've noticed a couple of podcasts sprouting out lately from well-known figures, well-known podcasters that have decided to just basically do what we've always done, and that's just have a bullshit podcast. Like, yeah, like just have a riff set. It's basically the original podcast. Things got so congested over the years and so focused on being a niche, right? Talking about whatever. It started off with true crime, then it became all about specific facets of true crime, and then podcasts not just about movies, but podcasts directly centered around bad movies or particular directors. Now we have podcasts not just about music, but we have podcasts dedicated to one band. Tons of that. But anyway, I've just noticed that a lot of people that I dig are coming out with podcasts as if it's revolutionary, where it's just like not planning it, just shooting the breeze and riffing and chatting and see where it goes. And I'm thinking that's basically what podcasts started out as
Yeah,
15 years ago.
yeah.
And that's kind of always what we did. Obviously we have our own individual shows where we have topics or whatever, but even on those, like the commentaries, we've always just sort of been off the cuff, and you could even argue a lot of times we'd only talk about the movie. But it's always been rooted in just having fun and having a good time and just seeing where everything takes us. So anyway, I thought it was weird, but we've always done that, and I think it resonates. I think it's really, really cool, and I think people respect it. What's up, Will? What's up, Plemke? My mom saying hi, Todd. She's in the chat. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing a shirt. She
Hi,
wanted me to point.
Denise.
I'm wearing a shirt. It is a spoof off of Grand Theft Auto, but it is.
Nice.
It's Rocky. It's all like a Rocky 4 montage. So anyway, it's very nifty, very nice. Plemke in the chat, someone stole your $100 the other day. How'd that happen? And why'd your bank refund it? How do they do that? How does your bank refund? Did they somehow siphon it from your account? I guess I'm confused.
Unless you use PayPal, you didn't use like friends and family or something.
Yeah, what'd you do? You got to watch out if
Or
that's
he
the
did
case,
use
man.
that.
You got to be careful if that's what happened. But anyway, we got some folks in the chat. I wanted to let everybody know. Look at me. I forgot to put the banner up today, but I'm going to do it right now. We stream these every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Now, granted, a week later, they're going to go up in an abridged version. I'll edit a video and things like that. But if you want to join us live and be a part of the conversation, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. And also, really quick, if you guys want to take a second, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to us on YouTube, like the video, help us out with the algos. We're also on twitch.tv/Revival House. Drop us a follow, support us over there, and of course, Patreon as usual, and all that other stuff. But yeah, anyway. Okay, Plemke just says it's complicated. Yes, essentially. Okay, so it was a PayPal thing. You got to be careful. A lot of people will do business and dealings in Facebook groups and stuff like that. Everybody's trying to get around eBay and just all the bullshit that comes with eBay. But
fees, taxes, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is everybody wants to be a part of these groups and kind of have like an honor system amongst the members where they want to not send stuff as goods and services. They want to do it as friends and family, right? Like, oh, we're part of the same group, until somebody gets burned. Because yeah, I mean, basically you're saying that you know that person and you're just kind of like giving Todd $20, right? It's like exchanging cash in the world of a bank. So you don't have a lot of rights there.
I've gotten burned a couple times too with that, and
it's at your discretion. Like if you know what you're getting into and you want to like give someone the benefit, if it just happens. But I have to say, and if your bank gave you your money back, it's very possible that the bank just wrote it off, right? If it was a certain dollar amount and you've never had a situation like this before, like I seriously doubt the bank's going to get that money back. I'm pretty sure they just kind of took care of it and they're eating it, but that doesn't mean they'll keep doing it. So anyway, regardless, people are not your friends on the other side of the internet. Make them pay a seller fee. Back your ass up, you know. So
Yep.
that's all I have to say about that. But anyway, today's topic, we normally just shoot the breeze for a little bit, but then we talk about something, in particular. I think it might have been Plemke actually last week that suggested this, and I thought it was a fun topic. It actually ended up being a little harder than I thought it was going to be, just because he said that we should tackle favorite pieces in our collections. I think the way he angled it was most valuable, maybe, and then also like maybe most sought after Grails type things. We'll kind of go off that. Just kind of want to talk. We'll talk about like our favorite pieces. It's not necessarily going to be monetary, like value and stuff like that. Honestly, my favorite stuff isn't necessarily that
Yeah,
pricey.
mine too.
Uh, all my pricey stuff, I'm kind of at the point, like, thank God I actually don't like a lot of my pricey stuff, because that's the stuff I would probably unload if I had to. Like, this is all stuff that I have here. It's not that much that I wouldn't part with, you know. It's stuff that represents nostalgia, but also I still like it today, because I have some stuff that is nostalgic, but it's not necessarily my favorite display piece today, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, maybe everything I have has a little bit of a story, so that's kind of what I try to revolve it around. But anyway, before we get into all that, what's new? What's new since last week, Todd?
Not much. Did we have a holiday last week or no? It was a full week of
Was New
work.
Year's not the holiday last week? No,
Uh,
no, we had already spoken after New Year's, right? Because that was the 3rd. No, so we didn't have a holiday or anything since then.
yeah, back to work, and it's been crazy. So, nothing really new with me. I don't know if I got a whole lot watched or not.
Yeah,
No, I did. I watched a couple movies, but that was pretty much it for me.
yeah. I think I brought these up last week, unless it was on a stream. I don't remember where I brought it up. Sometimes I get confused because I'm talking to Todd on a few different channels, but I don't feel like I showed it. Remember when I was talking about how I picked up True Romance and all that stuff? Did I show that stuff?
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Were we talking about it? Or was it on here?
You no, it was was that Friday night we talked
It
about
might have been
that?
it might have been our other stream. So I'll kind of show this stuff because, I get competitive with Todd. So I knew the True Romance, that Arrow release was out, and then Todd had never seen it, but I wasn't too worried about getting it for whatever reason. But then he blindly gets it, and I'm like, well, now I have to have it. So I did get that. It's a beautiful setup. It's a lot like the Phenomena and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff that they do. Great
They're the
packaging.
best.
I don't think you can beat it, really. And they got the steel book in there too. So you kind of have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But nothing beats these. Like, they're not digibooks. What would you call these? Remember back in the Blu-ray days, they'd have digibooks.
Which I actually like digibooks too
But I
back in
don't
the
know what
day.
this is like. This is better than digibook though,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's got that hardback quality of a digibook, but it's not a book that just flies open, right?
yeah.
So there's that. I mentioned it somewhere that I went ahead and bit the bullet, and I got the 4K of the Evil Dead remake.
Mhm.
Just because it's been a minute. It's one of these flicks that I kind of always have a feeling to revisit, especially now that we have a new one coming out that looks even worse. At first I'm like, you know what, it looks fine. We'll see what happens. But the more and more I see that trailer, I'm like, this doesn't even feel like Evil Dead to me. It feels like uh one of those, like, a Haunting of movies, Haunting
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Connecticut, or like a James Wan type
It
produced
definitely
movie.
definitely James Wan vibes there.
And they slapped Evil Dead on it. But anyway, they dropped this down pretty low in price on sale, and I'm like, why not? I never owned it. Why would I? So I'm like, okay, well, now's the time. Also, I picked up Dune, the original Dune,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I've never seen it. I've never seen it, but
I haven't seen it either.
it was a pretty good price, and I went ahead and got it. I mean, just to kind of fill out my Lynch catalog. But I don't know why it never really appealed to me, but I'm gonna watch it. And I know a lot of people, it's kind of polarizing. Great cinematography, Plumke says, but awful subject matter. I've seen the first part of the remake that's out. I know the story of the books roughly. I know there's a bunch of books, and it goes on and on and on. But I don't know. I'll give it a shot. It was pretty low enough. We'll see if I end up liking it enough to where I regret not jumping on it when it first came out. Because when this first came out, I'm pretty sure it had like something like this going
I'm
on.
sure it did. Yeah, I'm
I think
sure
it
it
had a
did.
really sweet addition that I might have missed out on. But I didn't even really know the flick very much, so I couldn't justify it. And I was telling Todd I got this pretty much on the cheap, and I'm like, why not? I had some credit, and I bought the Django.
I do want to get that eventually too. I hear the transfer looks amazing on that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and get to watching that this week, see what I can get done. But I did get something else, but I might talk about it when we kind of you know what, I will. I'll talk about it now because technically it's brand new. Who knows? It might grow to be a favorite part of my collection, but I don't know. Do you want me to show it or not?
Yeah, show it.
Oh, do you have anything you want to talk about or no?
No, I don't have anything to show this week.
Okay, so we'll just kind of bullshit for a little bit. But anyway, I think I mentioned this to Todd a while ago that I had this coming.
You got yours?
You got one?
I pre-ordered like 6 months ago, 8 months ago.
Because I told you about it. I think that was right because I pre-ordered this when I bought the Jason. You saw the Jason at my house and then you bought the Jason.
Yeah.
But when I bought the Jason, I pre-ordered this too.
And
so
I pre-ordered it back when I was at your house.
After I told, yeah, so I got it. And you know what? It's
That
probably
is
going
awesome,
off of
dude.
It's sweet, dude. I haven't put on he's got his human hand, his Jesse hand. I think I'm gonna put it on the glove, but the human hand's cool. And you know,
let's see a close up. I want to see a close up of his face, dude. That looks awesome.
It's awesome, dude.
Oh, that sweater looks great too. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it's great. It'll match your Jason perfectly. Like I said, it comes with two faces. One of them is the scowl. This one I like with his mouth open is great. You can remove his hat, and underneath he's got the brain exposed, like because it's part two. I got the body, I got the brain. But it's just great. This is a great pose. I don't really know if I'm going to do much better than that. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to stick with the Jesse humanoid hand, which is kind of cool. It's great because it really points it out that it's from part two. If you can't already tell from the makeup on the face, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go with the glove or keep the hand. But
was this a new? Was this a? Did this just come out, or did this get repressed?
I'm pretty sure this was a repress.
Okay.
I don't know. Am I crazy? I want to say NECA in its earlier days before they got real bougie and popular, they had a part 3 way back in the day. It's because NECA's been around for a little bit now, and like when they used to have their like their 7-inch line,
yeah,
they they used to come in different cases. Remember, they used to come in like the plastic, the kind you had to cut open, right? And I still have some of those. Like back then, like they had Friday 5, like Surgeon Freddy and all that shit.
Oh man, that'd be sweet.
That stuff's hard to find now, but that came in the old school NECA packaging where you either had to just display it on the hook or just destroy the packaging. You couldn't, none of it, they wised up, and now it's like you can have the best of both worlds. You can save your boxes and take everything out without destroying it, because I take all my stuff out and I keep the boxes. In fact, I'm kind of keep thinking about if I get rid of anything to make space, I kind of thought about just selling the boxes.
Yeah, I don't need the boxes either. You can sell them.
They take up so much space. Yeah, you can get money for the boxes. Some stuff, like my turtles back there, those things, those quarter scales. God, this is a quarter scale. The Jason's a quarter scale. The boxes are huge, dude. There's like, I only have so much space, dude. I got a whole closet that's just taken up by that shit. I don't plan on selling my turtles. I love those, dude. And I don't plan on selling something like this guy. Might as well I could sell the turtle boxes for $25 a pop. So that's maybe a kind of a compromise.
So I'm checking right now, Entertainment Earth, and it looks like mine shipped on the 6th.
Okay. Oh, so yours will be here anytime now. It takes them a few days. Like it's like that standard ground. You'll get it this week.
Nice.
Because it's shipped on a Friday. I mean, it's the kind of thing that takes like 5 to 7 or 7 to 10 days. So you'll get it. I'm pretty sure mine was one of the first to ship out. I mean, I beat you to the pre-order and stuff like that.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I told you about it. So Robert Vaughn, what's up, bro? He's saying, is that McFarlane? No, this is NECA. Maybe I'll just keep it up for the whole episode.
That looks awesome, dude.
I should have Jason right here too, man. But and they don't have I don't remember when it was. I think it was just before Christmas. They ran a sale, because sometimes like if you shop straight through NECA, if you buy straight through them, they'll have these pop-up sales. They'll warn you, be like, hey, Monday we're gonna drop certain things, and they'll give you hints. And they always sell out pretty quick, usually, especially if it's turtles related. But they did a horror one, and they ran a sale of a few different things, and one of them was the quarter scale Michael Myers, and it was
Oh, really?
they restocked them. And so it wasn't on sale. Like they never like give you a deal, but it's just the fact that they have them in stock and like, hey, we're gonna put them back in stock, and you could probably still get it. But I these things are so big, man. Once again, how much room do I have? And the Michael Myers is the 2018 Myers. So I'm like, you know what?
Oh, come on, really?
I think the 2018 Myers does look fine. I have no problem with it, but I'm like that I'll draw the line there. If it was a H1 or H2, actually H2 is my favorite
Or
Myers.
Halloween 5. Ugh.
I love, dude. I love the Halloween 2. That
Yeah.
dirty fucking old mask. I love the way it looks in part 2. And for some reason, part 2 is what they pump out the most. Like as far as getting rights, I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but they secure the rights to part 2. It's like everything you buy is like Myers Ultimate Edition part 2, and same thing with Hellraiser. Everything's Hellraiser 3. Right, to avoid that's just a rights thing. I mean, it is what it is. But Pinhead looks like Pinhead no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was like an OG Myers, I would totally get that. But anyway, yeah, but
I'll probably end up picking up which no, they don't have a Texas Chainsaw Massacre anymore. That was like early day.
oh, like a giant one?
Yeah, quarter.
Oh, really? I never knew they
I
had
think that
one.
was
So
I think NECA or McFarlane put that out a long time ago.
a quarter scale McFarlane?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, there's other companies out there. I don't know if I don't know if McFarlane ever put out quarter scale stuff that I
Or
remember.
maybe it was NECA, one of the
Or
two.
Mezco or something. I have no
Yeah.
idea. But anyway, these are really cool. It would be cool too, like if you actually had like a cloth sweater.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be asking too much though. But some of the 7-inch NECA stuff is cloth, right? They make the
Yeah.
my New Nightmare has cloth, and there's those are really cool though. But I think that would have made these quarter-inch scales even better, just to go all out and give me the cloth.
But the detail I mean looks really good on the camera, so I'm
No,
excited, man.
it's absolutely flawless, and like I said, yeah, it's going to be my new my new favorite. So I'm moving. If you don't notice because you guys it's cropped up here, but I used to have my quarter scale alien xenomorph on top of this shelf because you can't see it, but everything up here is aliens, all different sort of like xenomorphs and stuff like that. And it's a shame I can't I guess I could zoom out, but I don't like being that far away from the camera. Uh, but I got to figure that out. But anyway, I had him up there, but I'm gonna move him to my office where I've got Jason. I'm gonna have Freddy. I'm gonna put my quarter scale horror stuff over there and kind of do some. I've been doing some reorganizing and stuff, and I really hate. I got to figure that out because I wish you guys could see it because I got all of my. I'll show you. Did I show this last week? Somebody stopped me. Did I show you that I got this shit right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so I got all my TMNT Secret of the Ooze stuff, that haul. I got my Toka Razar. This is my Secret of the Ooze Brothers 4-pack in probably the greatest box I've ever seen in my life. It looks just like the VHS
awesome,
of
yeah.
Secret of the Ooze. It's just a take on the VHS.
Mhm.
But the models are actually the NECA figures. So they reenacted the VHS box with the NECA figures, and it looks legit. And let me see. And even then, like the tagline, like Cowabunga, it's the new Turtles movie, but they said figures, right? It's really
Mhm.
cool. So all that stuff is going to go on top, and I hate that I can't really see it right now, but I got to get that figured out. But I'm pretty sure I could technically sell this box for a lot, man.
Oh,
But
I'm sure you could.
because these are all sold out, of course. These are all pre-order only. I mean, you could buy
Well,
these brothers.
they're all pre-order from NECA?
Yeah,
Oh,
directly. Now you could buy these at Walmart, I think even right now in 2-packs, but different packaging and stuff like that, and different accessories. So like it's not the be all end all for me to have the box. I just kind of care about having the brothers. So part of me kind of wish, man, the temptation is real to just buy some a la carte 2-pack brothers and sell this bad boy for about, I think these are going for like $500 right now. Paid 150. But
Nice.
and I got my Toka Razar and all that stuff. But anyway, that's
move Freddy's arm up a little bit so we can see his glove.
I don't want to fuck
Just
with
move
this position.
just move his arm, just his arm.
No,
just
I don't want to. I'll like this is the hand. He's got a glove too, but I didn't put it on. This is like
Oh,
his
this is the
Jesse.
hand. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
with the
Oh,
knives
the
coming out
Jesse
of the
hand.
fingers.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna switch it to. I don't know. I might switch it to the glove.
That's still
Pretty.
cool. No one.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna try and get it Freddy situated. I don't have his stand over here, dude. I just grabbed him like this. I don't want the fault break my monitor, dude.
He's like, oh, ha, 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 ha."
Yeah. I'll
They
just
should have the
hold him.
pull string in the back, dude. Ah.
Yeah, no, awesome. So let's see. Add another $20 for a contribute on the bot. Yeah, exactly. What but anyway, yeah, it's pretty freaking cool, man. Buster Rhymes action figure, man, for Halloween Resurrection. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm at the point now where I really got to be picky because space is a thing. So, like I said, I'm not as much as I think the 2018 Myers design is way better than the movies themselves.
Yeah.
But I, like I said, I'm gonna cut it off there. They need to put out a quarter scale Corey Feldman to go with Jason, like
Well,
bald strand Feldman.
well, you think they do a pinhead or something too, right?
Oh, dude, see now that I actually have not bought the Pinhead 7-inch NECA, and Hellraiser is one of my absolute favorites. It's like top of the heap for me, the original, and that's just because I have a Mezco Pinhead that, while not the exact same, it's very similar, and aesthetically, it kind of gets the job done. And I've got McFarlane Pinhead. I've got all
Oh, okay.
the Cenobites from the McFarlane era. So I really want it, but I've just never been super rushed or pressured to get it, even though it kind of goes out of stock. And every now and again, I'll see one in the wild. I'm probably going to kick myself if I don't get one eventually, but I could not say no to a quarter scale Pinhead.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
they
yeah.
ever put out a quarter scale Pinhead, dude, it's going down because I do not have one that big, dude. I would love to have just a shelf of just like all those icons, man. But anyway, yeah, best Pinhead is Hellraiser Revelations. That's right, Plumkey. Not. Anyway, so you don't have anything you want to show or share?
No, like I said, I just watched a couple of movies.
What'd you
Checked
see?
out
What'd you
some of
watch?
those MVD movies,
Oh yeah,
Rewind. At Close Range was really good. I really enjoyed that. And
with
then
Sean Penn, right? You were
Sean
talking about?
Penn, yeah, and then I watched last night was a movie called Chocolate War, and that was really interesting about like kind of a all
Is it like
boys
a?
Catholic school type of thing.
Oh,
And it's like a dark comedy slash drama. It's really interesting. I guess it's based off the book, which I've never read the book. I guess it was like banned or something. But I was pleasantly surprised. Back to back solid movies. It's really few and far between when that happens for me.
that's cool. I watched, and I have to recommend it. I watched The Menu. And did I
Uh,
break? I can't remember if I talked about this last Tuesday or if I talked about it on Friday. I'm getting so confused because Todd was on our stream Friday, so now I'm starting to get all blurry. But the last new thing I watched was The Menu, and it was awesome, man. That it came out at the tail end of the year, and so technically, I didn't see it in 2022, but it technically would have been applicable for our top 2022 stuff. But I didn't watch it till after New Year's. So if I could turn back the clock, this probably would have been my favorite movie of 2022. You
the
know?
menu here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
add it to
yeah.
my list.
Yeah, add it. It's on HBO right now.
Okay.
It came out in theaters in November and it's already on HBO Max, but it was fantastic. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it was definitely for me. I loved it. Cool ensemble cast, and it's a dark comedy. It's real it's kind of fucked up, but I really dig it, man. And uh, Ralph Fiennes is really good in it. Voldemort, he plays the chef, and you got an ensemble cast. You got uh John Leguizamo,
Gotcha.
you got Anna Taylor-Joy, which she's in a lot of stuff right now, and Judith Light of all people from Who's the Boss. It's just really, really odd, but great flick, man. I really, really enjoyed it. So
Yep.
Will loved it. He said he loved the menu. He says I knew a bit about it. Very little about it. I can't talk, but was pleasantly surprised. I knew nothing about it, dude. I just barely saw like a couple of teasers in passing, like, oh, okay, it's about a restaurant and they're all gathering, and a little bit more to it than that, but anyway, yeah. Let's see. Plumkey, by the way, what's your guys' thoughts on Butthurt Zoomer animation fans review bombing HBO Max? I don't get it. What are they doing? over
Yeah, I have
shitty
no idea.
Steven Universe knockoffs taking off the service. I don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that.
I just know they were just taking off a whole bunch of stuff off the service because of the whole Discovery merger and stuff like that. So, which I don't really care. Burn it all down. I don't care. I mean, to my knowledge, they were just taking off all the DC shit, which I don't care. I really don't care. The only DC things I care about are the Tim Burton Batmans, and I have those on 4K, so I'm good in digital.
Which
So
I still haven't seen the new Batman, but I guess it's what, 3 hours long?
it's like 3.5. Is it not like 3.5 hours long, guys? It was super long, super long. The longest Batman by a country mile, and it was good, but I don't know if it earned its 3.5 hour runtime. I mean, remember back in the day when a movie that was 3.5 hours, like Titanic, was like a fucking event. It was like,
Oh yeah.
and I don't even know if Titanic's 3.5 hours. Isn't it just like 3 hours?
It's 2.5, 3 maybe.
It was long enough to where it had to have two VHSs,
Yeah.
right, to split it up evenly. But that to me was unheard of. Okay, so the new Batman was 3 hours. I don't care, dude. That's fucking long.
That is a long, man.
It tipped 3 hours. It's not 2:59. It's not 2:58. That first digit is a 3, and it just didn't earn it for me. But it was cool. You know, I liked it. I didn't buy it or anything like that. I don't own it. I mean, it's just this, yeah, just the tip Plumpy, exactly.
It's funny, the majority of the movies I have still are wrapped up that are like 3 hours long, just because I making that commitment, I really can't. Well, maybe once every month, but I can't really pull a 3-hour movie off, man.
Yeah, I still haven't watched my copy of my Criterion copy of Seven Samurai just because I know it's going to be a fucking, that movie's like 4.5 hours long. Like
Yeah.
I have to brace myself and really sit, you know, it has to be an event. And I don't know what the deal is. You know, it's like that meme where people complain about watching a 3-hour movie, but yet they'll sitting here binge watching a whole Netflix show in one night. I don't know what it is about that. I think it's just the psychological thing of, well, I know there's natural breaking points every hour that if I don't want to proceed, I don't have to. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, I hate doing that for movies. I
Oh,
don't want
yeah.
to watch a movie. I know tons of people that do that. They're like, I'll finish it
I can't do that
tomorrow.
either.
No, I can't. I have to. It actually drives me crazy too. I just can't do it. I know people that do that, and I don't feel like they get the full effect. Like if
Yeah.
I want their opinion on a movie, if they watched it in 2 or 3 sittings, it's like now you're compromised. Like I
What
don't know if
mood
you
were
have,
you in the second sitting, and what mood were you in the third sitting, you know?
yeah, and
It's all
also
different.
it's gonna affect. I would think. Okay, so it's not unlike when you read something. Like, for example, if I asked somebody to read something for me, maybe something I wrote, it's usually stuff that can be read in an hour and a half. I get it. Stuff takes time, but like you're not going to get the full effect unless you read it in a sitting because you're going to get the full effect on pacing and all that stuff. I think if you break something up into like 3 or 4 viewings, you don't really have an accurate view of what the pacing was like because you kind of cheated. I think a movie's got to like be able to grab you front to back, start to finish, to be effective. I don't know.
No, 100% agree on that.
It's gonna be a lot easier to get through a movie that's got a real boring second act or like this whole big lull period. And I mean, if that hour lull period becomes like 30 minutes across 2 sittings, it's not as honest. I don't know. But 5-hour Snyder cut, absolutely not, dude. You'd have to have my balls in a vice grip and my nipples attached to a car battery, right? And burning cigarettes on me. Sounds like a fucking kind of movie. But no, I would never watch that Snyder cut, dude. Couldn't do it. I actually watched most of the original Batman v Superman at the gym because it just happened to be on in our little
Oh,
theater
okay.
cardio
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Uh, which I hate because I like the concept of the theater cardio room where it's real dark and quiet and you just go in there and watch a movie. I've watched a lot of movies that way, but it's always like the blockbusters. Like I
Yep.
guess they want to appeal to a mass crowd, but don't we get enough of that? Dude, it's always like some kind of Avengers movie, some kind of Marvel movie, some kind of DC movie or Pixar movie or just I don't know. I don't know. I guess they're not going to put on Henry, but you know, a compromise. Can you imagine, dude? Like putting on Henry.
They could at least put on like Terminator 2 or something cool.
Oh yeah, give me like Jurassic Park. Give me
Yeah.
Terminator 2. Give me Jurassic Park. Anything else, man? But just no thanks. But anyway, I'm not against long movies. I just think they got to be earned. But anyway, as far as what's on my plate this week to watch, I don't know. I'm a bit overwhelmed, to be honest with you. What are you gonna watch this week? What's on your list?
Oh man, I got a big stack of movies back there that I'm trying to plow through.
Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I recently watched True Romance. Like within the last 6 months,
Yeah, I
it's
watched
not
that too.
priority. Even though that's terrible, I should watch. I will watch it, but I feel like there's other stuff. I'm probably gonna watch Evil Dead. Actually, I'm actually kind of very curious to watch Evil Dead, and I'll watch Django, and I'll watch the Dune. You know, those are probably my top. So
See, and I have that new Dune that I haven't watched yet because it's like a 3-hour movie. So
is it
or two and a
really? What?
2.5 hour
It's not
movie.
3 hours, but the only thing about that is I enjoyed it, but you are literally getting a piece of a movie. Because
Mm-hmm.
I I think once another part comes out, it'll be a better viewing experience to kind of just take it all in because, yeah, it's just one of those ones that to my recollection, doesn't really follow a 3 act structure. It's like Land of the Dead to me, where I feel like I'm getting
Yeah.
a first act and it cuts off somewhere in the middle of the second act, and it's just kind of incomplete. But it is cool. It's breathtaking. I mean, all Denis Villeneuve stuff is really really gorgeous to look at. But anyway, we'll see how it stacks up against the original. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and talk about some stuff, some material BS, and I'm gonna let Todd go first because I've been talking a lot. I need to wet the whistle. So, give us a little backstory. Is it worth anything? If so, is it
Okay.
sentimental? Is it all that good stuff?
My first item, I think I acquired back in when did this come out? 90, 95, 96, 95? No, maybe it was 94. I don't know. Right around that time. Um, I was a kid, and pretty much it was every kid's wet dream to get at the time. And man, I
Kids
think
having
my
wet dreams. Hell yeah.
well, you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mom would never buy this for me. So it's one of those things where you have to contact. Well, my parents were divorced, and contact your dad and tell him what you wanted. Of course, he didn't really know what he was buying me, and yeah, this is something that I mean, kids all they did was play video games back in the day. They still do now, but it's a lot different than it used to be now that everything's going digital. Um, I still have this box. Really isn't worth crap. To me, it is because I look at it, walk past to look at it, brings back memories. A lot of my stuff's more nostalgia when it
Mhm.
comes to my favorite things. But you probably know what it is. But it's Mortal
Oh,
Kombat 2
okay.
on
So
Sega Genesis.
yeah,
What?
I
What? Why are you shaking your head?
no, because I almost. It's so funny you were talking about it, and it was giving me inklings of my story. No, that's a good one. So I don't have my original copy. That's why I didn't. But no, same thing, man. Mortal Kombat 2 was a big one for me. I got stories with all the Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
Uh, I was behind because 95 was when Mortal Kombat was really popping off with the movie and MK3 in the arcades, and MK2 was only a year old at the time. But I went to a video rental store that was going out of business and they were just liquidating everything. And I bought the original Mortal Kombat used, and that was a great day. But then it wasn't until 2 that was the greatest, man, because my mom and we went to Gamers in Omaha, Nebraska, and I wanted Mortal Kombat 2, and I remember for some reason, and to this day, I don't know if the cashier was just hooking a poor kid up that just wanted a little violence, or if he was really that dense. I have a hard time believing this guy that worked at a game store was this dense because
They
they
were
literally
pretty
had,
they're pretty strict back then about who can buy the actual like
but
Mortal
they
Kombat
they
games and
had
stuff.
MK3 on display on a TV to
Oh,
play. They had
okay.
MK3, and I was looking to get MK2,
Mm.
and they even had it like it was on the demo mode where they're doing like the
Yeah.
fatalities and stuff. And my mom, like, as if she ever cared about this stuff beforehand, all of a sudden she had a conscience. She was like, "Now, is this violent? I hear these movies, these games, have a lot of gore." And we were looking at like Mortal Kombat 3, and this guy straight up says, "Oh no, it's just this one. This one's fine. 3 is the violent one. 2 is the more violent one." If you,
I know.
I think 2, because 3 is like
It
silly.
is.
It got
Yeah, yeah.
comical, and they became
With the
they had,
bombs and the
and like the 5
bones.
limbs, the 20
Yeah, yeah.
skulls. It was almost they, I think, admittedly knew they were being silly at this point, being a parody. But 2 is like where you saw the flesh, right? Johnny Cage like pulling the
Yeah.
torso off, and the the dragon and biting the torso off. I don't know. Jack's just ripping the arms off, and instead of having just like clean cuts and pink like flesh, you actually saw the ripped flesh coming out, the blood squirting out. To
Yep.
me, it was way more. And yeah, this guy straight up said that one's not. That one's totally fine. It's just this one. And I feel like if I could talk to that guy today, like, hey, I know you don't remember me, but I remember you. You were hooking me up, right? Because you were, because I feel like everything about it was so set up. Minus, he did everything except give me a wink out the
Yeah,
door.
yeah, yeah.
Like, that'd be great if I was walking out the door and I turned around and I saw him and he had a little sparkle in his eye, like Jeff, dude, on Saved by the Bell. Ding!
Yeah.
Like, thanks, dude. I give him a thumbs up. But I loved it, dude. And I took Mortal Kombat 2 home, and I don't know if I loved another game more than that
I
particular
agree.
game.
I agree. And I spent weeks, months, years. I mean, I had the strategy guide, and of course, like I would try to memorize. I used to memorize everything, all the moves, every fighter. It's just I don't know. There's something about like, I mean, graphic wise, I mean, it looked amazing too. I mean, for the time, like yeah, I was blown away. Coming from the first one, which I liked the
Yeah,
first one a lot, but
it was a, like, to
what?
quote Tony Hawk, take a giant leap. It took a giant leap from the first one. Hey, Mac just jumped in. He's like, "Oh, I came at the right time. Hell yeah, MK2 was my shit." Uh, it- yeah, it was huge. And so I have a copy of it just like you, but it's not my original copy. I should have grabbed it. I'm a dummy. But yeah, that one. And I could say similar stuff with 3 and 1. They all have their own stories behind
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
But 2 felt like such a victory, and 2 felt like forbidden fruit when I was playing it,
yeah.
because
Oh,
I felt like I was,
well, that's when they started like the moms against whatever used to like get
oh, the
backlash over Mortal
PMRs, yeah, the
Kombat.
moms
Um,
against whatever it was.
was it Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 that they started the rating? It was 1, right? Is when
Yeah,
they started the M rating.
That's why Super Nintendo pushed out and didn't put blood on it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because they wanted to have the hot game, but they also didn't want to piss off parents who were the ones buying the product. But they learned their lesson, because literally the Genesis version of Mortal Kombat 1, which had the blood code,
Yeah, yeah.
it outsold the Super Nintendo version 2-1.
Just because of the blood code, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then so obviously when MK2 came out, Super Nintendo's like, "Fuck you, moms.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going where the money is." And I know everybody likes the Super Nintendo versions better, but I agree with Mac. I mean,
I
I
like the
grew up
Sega.
with the Sega,
Yeah.
and I know there was compromises, but to me, it just played faster, played better. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, the Super Nintendo might have looked better and had more audio, like sound bites and stuff. But I used to love the first game, especially how they couldn't emulate the arcade music like the Super
I
Nintendo.
still love that though, how shitty the music is in the first one on
Oh no, I
Sega.
think it's not shitty at all, because the Super Nintendo could kind of bullshit its way around and translate the arcade soundtrack in its with its chip set. But the Genesis couldn't even pull it off, so they had to like write totally new compositions
Mhm.
using the Sega sound chip, and they were great. Like
Yeah.
I will take the pit song. I will take the courtyard. Like the courtyard, that's
What's the do 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 do
oh, I love that.
down
Down, down.
down? Yeah, yeah. Is that the pit level?
That's the menu select.
Oh, that's the menu select.
I like all the menu selects, man. Dude, and I remember when I was a kid, the first time I heard the MK3 menu select, that was the coolest thing in the world, because it sounded so ominous and evil, because it had the choir effect. That fucking bit chip tune choir, dude. That sounds stupid now, but it was so cool, man.
Now, one thing I did love about this, Shao Kahn in this one, did
He's
he
tiny.
do what's that?
The sprite in the Sega Genesis MK2 is tiny, like Shao Kahn and MK2 in general.
Yeah.
the Brian Glenn, the guy they did the acting for him, he was really skinnier. Like they appeared skinnier,
Oh,
and he
okay.
was a little bit smaller. Like he was a little bit closer to the characters you were playing as. And when you played him in 3, they just blew his sprite up to where he looked like he was
Okay.
about 7.5 foot tall and stuff, more imposing. But sorry, that's not where you were going.
But did he always do that, "You will die"? Is that
Different ports, right?
was that the
If you get
Sega one? I think it was the second one, "You will die, fight."
if I'm correct, Mac might know better. Mac can correct me.
Yeah.
The
Correct
Sega
us,
was
Mac.
limited. I'm pretty sure on the Genesis, that's all he could say was one thing:
Okay,
"You
yeah.
will die." And
Yeah.
but I think on the Super Nintendo, he had a couple of sayings, and
Okay.
on the arcade at all. But I think on the Genesis, all he said
Mhm.
was "You will die."
Yeah.
And I remember on part 3, he said a few things, and but I don't think he said "you suck" on all of them. Remember, he
Mm.
would go, "You suck."
Yeah.
And that just spoke to my inner child, dude. Like, oh, it's so cool. Now when I'm like older, I'm like, that's so cheesy, dude. Like his Emperor of Outworld is saying "you suck."
Oh, but how cool was it in the first one to actually have the toasty guy pop in?
He's not in the first one. You mean the second one?
It was the first one too, right? Toasty?
Nope.
Didn't
It
he
would only
pop
say
in?
Toasty. The only
On the
appearance Toast.
arcade.
Nope. It would say Toasty only when you performed Scorpion's original fatality, and you set the guy on fire. It would just say fatality, like blink, and then it would follow it up with Toasty. But that was it. It would show it in text only when you did Scorpion's fatality. So that became a thing in part 2. Yeah, Mac, don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh, and you
Oh,
suck.
okay.
No, but in part 2, they actually the Toasty. They had that, and obviously that carried on into 3 and all that stuff too. But yeah, that didn't show up until 2. And
How clever is that though?
so 2 was the king because it did exactly what a sequel needs to do. It just took everything that the first one was trying to do and exploded it, made it better. More characters. We got from 7 characters to 12. Not one hidden character in Reptile. We got 2 in Smoke and Jade. And at the time, you had a four-armed sub boss that was bigger and more imposing than Goro. I mean, you
Yeah.
could argue that Goro's better or whatever the OG, but still at the time. And the villain was bigger and badder than Shang Tsung, and you get to play as Shang Tsung. How cool is that? A young
That was
Shang Tsung.
awesome. I was
You
so
had more
excited. Yeah.
stages, but this is the game where in the first one you had a pit fatality, a stage fatality, but in this one we upped it, right? We had the Deadpool, we had the pit 2, we had the spikes in the ceiling. What is that fucking level called? I can't quite remember what it's called. Um but you had a few of those, and what else? What else? The fatalities. Dude,
Yeah.
the first game, the fatalities were revolutionary but silly, especially when
Yeah.
you got to like the ports, because obviously the arcade was one thing, but all the different ports and consoles had to dance around the fatalities or the limitations. So a lot of them had to create new fatalities, right? Like
Mhm.
what is Johnny Cage's? Isn't Johnny Cage like he literally just kicks him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Luke Kang's fatality is the worst, where he just does that weird little jump kick where he's like,
Yeah.
and he kicks him. And Kano on the Super Nintendo version, he like steals his wallet or some shit. It's like it's not a heart. They gray it out.
It's like his liver or something. I don't know. Who knows?
It's supposed to be a heart, but
Yeah.
it's really stupid. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, 2 introduced Max chiming in. MK2 introduced friendships, babalities, and
Yeah.
of course they upped the fatality game. And I don't know. It was just and the Fergality. Remember the hidden Fergality,
Mm.
which was the one of the designers or programmers or whatever. So it's just kind of stupid. But it was awesome, man. And I still think to this day, I love 3, but 2
Two's the
has
best.
2 has the most iconic stages. Dude, you
Yeah.
can't beat the Deadpool, man. You can't beat the Armory. And yeah, so don't get me wrong. I love 3 too. I
No,
do
three's
love 3.
great. Yeah.
And I like the whole Hell on Earth angle. That was really cool. I
Yeah.
love those stages. I like the soundtrack too.
Mhm.
I got the vinyl OSTs of 1, 2, and 3, dude. I'm glad
Hmm.
I was able to jump on that when they went back into press and then sold out again. But Yeah, that's a good one, man. But like I said, I got stories of all three.
Yep.
3 is great too because I had to lie to my grandmother, which still kills me. I had to lie to my innocent grandmother when I begged her to let me rent a game, which we never got to do. We were at Hy-Vee, and I was like, I want to rent this game. And I remember I want to say I was trying to sneak it with another one with like Toy Story, the video game. Like, it won't look as obvious if I have like Toy Story,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
yeah.
And then she found it and she straight up asked me, now, is this violent? Is this for kids? And I was like, yeah, it's kids. She's like, yeah, it rated M. That stands for made for everyone. But what kills me is she can't have been that like oblivious. I mean, there's a rating there. You think she would like open her eyes and look at it, but she didn't. She believed me, like okay. And I remember just like the guilt. I was like playing in my basement, dude, renting it, but it was so cool, dude. It was so wow.
She
Chef's
walks
kiss, sweet.
downstairs. She's like, "What the heck are you
Oh, she never
playing here?"
did.
And
And we could always like hear them a mile away, like if they were coming because we were like in a separate room. So we had all the opportunity in the world to abort a game, or turn off a TV or something like that. So it was pretty awesome. Mac, he says I hated 3 for not having any ninjas, but the cyborgs were definitely the choice
they
for
were
doing
cool.
that. Cyrex was my favorite. Then seeing Cabal, he was my favorite. So he's a D-bag in Snowblind animation. I that was really polarizing when that first came out. They only had Sub-Zero when they took his mask off. I don't know if they
Yeah,
were really prepared for how polarizing that was. And yeah, but I still liked 3, man.
yeah.
It didn't
Three's great.
and obviously nowadays they would just like have DLC or fix stuff in a patch, but it was literally the same year that they put out Ultimate 3. And back in those days, instead of doing like a patch or whatever we do today, they literally would have to, instead of selling all these stores and stuff, new cabinets, they sent out a rep from Midway to update each console with the new version,
Yeah, like
right?
Street Fighter too. Yeah,
Yeah, and so they would literally update the 3 cabinets in a UMK3. And so it came out so fast after 3 and the backlash of 3 that it tells me it got rushed out, and it was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was supposed to be Mortal Kombat 3 from the get-go. And they obviously didn't have it finished, but they had to get
yeah,
something out. Probably because the movie tie-in and the movie was releasing in the summer. It was all a tie-in. So I bet you that's what happened. And then they quickly followed it up with the UMK3 and stuff like that. With all the characters and all the stages. So I don't know. And obviously that remedied stuff, but the people that had UMK3 at the time were Saturn. It was Sega
mhm,
Saturn.
yeah.
Trilogy came to PlayStation, but PlayStation just had regular Mortal Kombat 3, which I love the PlayStation Mortal Kombat 3 back in the day. But I don't know. I have a certain sentimental attachment to the original MK3. I loved the
I
brief
do too.
time
Sega
the brief
Genesis. Yeah.
time no, even the arcade, the brief
Oh yeah.
time where you could find those cabinets, because now it's just like they're all UMK3. I missed the side panel of those cabinets because you had Shao Kahn and Sindel. I thought that
Mhm.
was so cool. And the first round that they put out of MK3, they had to fix those right away with an update because they were so broken. Like nobody could beat it, dude. No, Shao Kahn just fucking destroyed the fuck out of you, man. They were so hard. Um, But yeah, no, I like all of them. I eventually got UMK3 on Super Nintendo when they put ports out of that pretty late, like in 97, late 96 or 97. Like at the same time, we already had Trilogy and stuff out on the newer
Yeah.
consoles, but they put out ports of UMK3 on Genesis, Super Nintendo. And I love, even though they were gimped, man. And I could compare them side by side because I had Sega and Super Nintendo of MK3, but I still didn't care. I'm like, oh, I get all these characters, but I could noticeably see that the graphics got worse because they had so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
data on there, and they like trimmed out like half the stages. There's like no levels in this damn thing. I remember I traded some kid in the neighborhood in Florida for it. I invited him in the house, and we had like a Sega CD at the time, and which was defunct, but I loved my Sega CD, and it was kind
Yeah.
of I liked my collection. Anyway, I I I, he had it, and I'm like, he convinced me. I was like, I'll trade you. I'll trade you this fucking Winter Olympics '94. I
Oh
had like
jeez.
some set that I had for a few years, and it it's what you think. I'll trade you this for Ultimate MK3. He had it, and that was new at the time, and he took it. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he must have went home and realized what a shit deal he got because I'm playing UMK3 like, oh, this is fucking badass, man. I get to play as Noob Saibot, and
His dad was probably pissed off at him for doing that.
which fun fact, the home ports, the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis home ports of UMK3 are the only games that had Rain in it.
Mm.
Rain didn't show up until MK Trilogy, and he wasn't in the arcade of Ultimate MK3, and he wasn't in the Saturn arcade port of UMK3. So he was only in the demo section, right? So when you watch the demo in the arcade, they would show a purple ninja in like that brutality section, and
Yeah,
it would say
yeah.
Rain. And it was just an Easter egg, like it never existed, because they used to do that shit all the time. Like, oh, they're gonna see this and they're gonna think there's a code, but
Yeah,
it was just like a red herring. But they put them in the Super Nintendo, so all those versions were kind of unique, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, dude, I'm playing UMK3 at the house, and 45 minutes, an hour later, I don't know how long it was, knock at the door. He comes back and he goes, granted, the deal is done. And I'm at the door and he goes, tell you what, I'll let you have more Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 if you give me your Sega CD and all your games. I'm like, I just shut the door in his face. Like, bro, the deal is done. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what? I'll let you I'll keep honoring this deal if you give me more shit, because this game you gave me is a pile of trash. But you know what? It's beauty's the eye of the beholder. I traded him game for game.
Yeah.
This guy came back wanting my Sega CD and like all my games for my Sega CD. I'm like, you're about as on crack as I was when I made the initial offer to trade Winter Olympics 94 for your UMK3, and I'm not biting. So
do you ever like regret it and go back like, man, if I could just go back and play Winter Olympics 94 again?
I mean, there's emulators, Todd. If I really want to, I could jump on.
I'm kidding.
I could find that piece of shit. I could never really understand it. I was like, okay. Anyway, that was one of my best trades of all time. Mac MK3 had brutalities and animalities included. Yeah, the 11-button combo was next level. My friend just traded his Nintendo Switch for an N64. What?
Why?
I mean, are N64s that hard to come by now? That makes no fucking sense. He can get an N64 for $50.
They're clunky as hell too, man. You don't want to go back.
I've got 4 of them. He could have just like bought one off me. I've got a Donkey Kong Jungle Green one. And I got a few regular ones that I just came across in the wild for dirt cheap or got in trades or whatever. And I got a whole bunch of controllers. But yeah, that wasn't a good deal, man. Yeah, you get $30, right?
Yeah.
$30 to $50, whatever. So he traded a Nintendo Switch for some reason. Whatever. So basically, somebody gave him the old Winter 94 treatment.
Yep.
Like, hey,
another good
I'll give you this awesome state-of-the-art N64, very retro, for your lousy Nintendo Switch. Was it an OLED? I hope not. Even a regular one, that's like a bad deal. It's so stupid.
Now I have an OLED. My kid has an OLED one. Is the other one just a little bigger? Is that what it is?
So
the screen?
No, you have the biggest screen.
Oh, okay. The OLED one is okay.
The original is the exact same size, dimension-wise, but your screen's bigger because they eliminated the bezel.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's kind of out of reach, but I could show you. But like the actual unit, that's why the the motes and everything will fit. Everything's the same dimensions. I just got a little bit more bezel than yours, so my screen's technically a little bit smaller, and obviously it's not OLED. Then they have the light, which is great. The Switch Lite doesn't dock,
yeah,
and it's just and it's got the smallest screen of all of them, but it's still a pretty totally fine screen. I think those Switch Lights are really cool though, because they come in the different colors. They look really durable. Like I wouldn't bitch at all if I had one of those for on the go too. So I just kind of left the other one at home. But
I always wanted a Sega Nomad when I was a kid. I had a couple friends that had those, and I couldn't believe it. The big cartridge sticking out of it when you're.
They were a flash in the pan. They were gone before they were even out. It felt like I never even really saw them on the shelves. I just started seeing them at Gamers because it wasn't a big hit or nothing like that. But I remember growing up after that, like, man, I would kill. Now this is obviously before we had emulation and we had things like Switch and digital marketplaces where you could play these classic games, just buy them or whatever on Switches or PS Vitas. But back when there was no other way to play console games portably. Yeah, dude, I wanted that so bad. I'm like, I could play Atomic Runner on the go.
Well, the cool thing was you can play it on your television as well. You just plug the controller into the bottom of it. You can play it on your
I wonder if
television.
there was any input lag issues or if it was just like a Genesis.
I don't remember. A couple buddies had them, but yeah,
I never had one though. But I don't know. No, it just felt because if I wanted to play Mortal Kombat on the go, I had to boot up a Sega Game Gear, and you don't want to play Mortal Kombat on the Game Gear,
it's
right?
it's terrible.
It's not as bad as the Game Boys, but you don't want to play those games on the Game. So the idea that wow, I can take the legit Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat 2 on the go, mind blown. And that was just like cream of the crop at the time. Like now it's like honestly, it'd be hard for me to go back and play this. It's hard for me to play the Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat now because now I have access to the perfect arcade ports, and it's just no contest. You know, I have the mid. Even I mean, I know they put them out on like the PlayStation Marketplace or whatever. Those are now hard to find. You can find, but you can still buy them for like your PC and shit like that. I had the Mortal Kombat 2 Midway arcade collections that had the arcade ports, and I would just pop those in instead of playing the Genesis versions.
Is that what I got on the PS3? And then they deleted it off the PlayStation Store, so now I got
the
they
Mortal
got rid of
Kombat
it.
arcade collection.
Yeah,
yeah. You can't. But if you bought it, you should still have it and be able to download it. But only the PlayStation 3. You'd have to dust off a PlayStation 3 to
I don't
get
have
it.
a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, you can, and they took it off. They took it off Steam, but you can still buy it. Like they're not outwardly advertising it, but you can still buy keys to download on Steam. I bought a key off one website. I can't remember where it is, but I bought it for like $10. So I technically still have it on Steam.
Yeah, but why aren't they putting those out on like PlayStation and stuff on the store? The arcade ports.
I
mean,
think
they were
they're just
supposed to
like
do it years ago, I believe.
I
They
think they're
never
just
did.
I think they're just waiting for like a perfect time. Like oh, it should have already been out, but it's like, oh, we want to wait for an anniversary because there's all this talk about repackaging them and doing a whole new HD overhaul then it falls through, and I feel like they're just waiting. It's like, well, now we have to wait till there's another big anniversary year. Like it's stupid. Like just give me the fucking OG games.
I wonder how popular those would be now. I mean, they would be popular with me and you, but I mean,
They don't age great, to be honest with you. You know, I love them, but it's mostly nostalgia. I love the idea of you don't really even have to do HDify them and stuff like that and do like new sprite. Just give me the old games with like quality of life improvements. Make them balanced and control better, not be so stiff.
yeah.
Maybe like do things like add combos to even Mortal Kombat 1 and shit like that. Just clean them up. Somehow clean them up. And I don't know. But anyway, we talked.
Probably should move on to yours.
Yeah, did you?
That was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one. So we're still making good time though. All right, so this I've talked about before on other episodes, so I won't stay on it long. But this is one of my favorite toys. It's the Planet of the Symbiotes Venom, dude. It's not even really like I like this whole line because they had a whole line where they had Hybrid, Riot, Scream, Lasher. They were other symbiotes and stuff like that, and they had like Venom infused other characters and stuff like that. But it was just this one. I love this one, man. And I've got this out of package and I've got one in the package. And this one's great because it was my absolute favorite toy growing up in elementary school. I remember wanting it so bad at KB Toys. I used to look at it. And then I remember when Christmas came around, it was under the tree and I knew what it was. I remember what the wrapping paper looked like. And I was just picking it up. Oh, I can't wait to open this bad boy. I remember like it looked just like this. I'm like, it has to be my Venom. And when I opened this, dude, I just fucking lost my shit. I love it. So it's not, I don't know, like maybe $50. So it's not like crazy expensive or anything like that. But
You gonna open it?
no, I have one open. I have two.
Oh,
I bought one. I got one for that reason. One I can have on display, and one I can keep in the box because I have such great memories in this box, dude.
Yeah.
I love it, and it's still. I have a thing about Venom, man. And it's funny because I absolutely hate those fucking Tom Hardy movies. They're so bad. But I love the character of Venom. I love it. I have quite a few different variants of Venom action figures, different lines, different years. I think he's got some of the coolest toys. And this is still like older toys. They're doing them better now, obviously. and older toys looked a little bit ghetto. Dude, I still love this design, and this is like a mid '90s. It still looks fucking sweet. The attention to detail is pretty damn good, and I love all the heads on there and the arms, dude. It's sweet. I love it. So thank you to my mom for getting me that. What's your next one?
My next one was acquired, I believe, in the late 90s. This one's kind of a no-brainer for me. I think I've brought this up many times.
Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah. It's going to be the VHS tape. And I will not get rid of this, even though it's a pile of shit. I watched it so many times, and it's hard to watch because, the tape looks like crap because it's so old now.
But you still like to watch it, even though you have other options to watch it, like better? Like
that's where my next thing comes in. So would be the box
DVD
set.
Oh, I almost grabbed that because it's sweet.
I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, just look at the box of this. I mean, it's amazing looking, I think, with the green Dawn of the Dead font. I'm glad they didn't go with the red font. And then the packaging, the booklets,
take us through it if you don't mind, because I actually have not opened mine yet.
Okay, so this was the 4K collection, I think, that came out from, this is the second site that put this out.
Yeah.
And basically you have the box, and then the first set of discs is so you have the UHD 4K, you have the Argento cut, you have the special features, and you have the theatrical cut.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, though, but like a lot of the special features we can't watch because they're on region locked. We can only watch the 4K stuff.
Region B, and I'll eventually get a Region B player, but it's not really a priority for me right now.
So what can you not instantly readily watch that's part of the set?
Just this disc right here.
Okay.
The other ones are all 4K discs.
Okay.
You have the extended cans cut and then the Argento cut, which I actually like. I mean, I like the director's cut, but I mean, the regular cut is what I grew up on anyway. So the theatrical. So I really don't care either one of those. Just not the Argento. No, I mean, I like it, but it's just not as good. Then this set comes with a Dissecting the Dead, which is basically it goes through the whole movie process when it was created, different posters, regions, stuff like that. Really nice book. This really nice quality of the hardback book here. And then you have the novelization, which if you want to read about it, I think Suzanne Sparrow did this. Yeah, and George Romero, or it's by George Romero. And this actual book, I've read it. I have one of the original copies up top here. Not very good, but just because I'm used to the movie, and the book just, I don't know, doesn't go into enough detail for me, being a big fan. So, but the book, it's cool to have the novelization in there as well. And then lastly, you have all the soundtrack, which, let's see, you have all the library cuts, soundtrack, which I think this was the first time it was been released on disc. And then you have the original soundtrack by Goblin. So you pretty much have everything you need in one box.
That's cool. Gamer Guy, I have the Dawn of the Dead VHS and the vanilla DVD. Hope it gets a region 1 4K. Hey, do you still have all your variants of Dawn of the Dead? Do you still have your DVD with the really bright menu, like the bright colors? Yeah. I remember that menu.
Yeah, I have all that one. I have pretty much all of them. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Then I have the director's cut of the VHS has a double disc or double VHS. But this one's the OG is the best.
Don't you have a double disc Day of the Dead, or am I on crack?
On VHS?
No.
No.
I've seen the Dawn of the Dead one. I've seen that then, the double. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
No. I have a fondness for that DVD though, because that's when I borrowed it from you.
Oh, yeah.
You had already had a DVD player. Our family just got one, and I borrowed it over a weekend and whatever and watched it and stuff, and it was really cool.
I think I
This
paid like $350 for my first DVD player, and I used my paper out money with it. I remember.
and now it's $2 at Goodwill.
Yeah.
That's how it works, man. Let me just make sure what else. Okay, this next thing, I'm a little weird about this because I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite things, but it has a cool story about it and it's a nice talking piece. Because I don't really have it on display. I need to put it on display. And that's probably why. It's because I don't give it enough love. But it's funny, dude. Some of the tattoos are fading on here, and I haven't even opened it. Remember this? You got this for me.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
This terrible looking Scott Ian doll.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
Looks fucking horrible. Looks like there's like no detail on it, dude.
Yeah, it looks so plain, dude. When I got that for your birthday one year, didn't I?
Years ago.
High
Years
school?
ago. Yeah, years ago. And I think look, okay, you get a it's funny, the box art and him is better than the actual toy. Let's see.
I want to
Like
say you got that at Sam Goody. I think it
it
was Sam
literally
Goody.
looks like a pharmacy toy.
It
It looks
does.
nothing like him, dude. But
Well, it looks like the lead singer of Live did.
yeah, I mean it's cool. I like it. And let's see, he actually does have a guitar in there. It's tempting just to open up this bat. Look, if he was a lot cooler, the thing is this thing's cooler in the box for sure because
Yeah.
he doesn't look cool enough on his own. He looks so cheesy, but with the box and everything complimenting it, it's funny, dude. I want to
Well, let's see how much. Let's see how much it's worth.
who put this thing out. I
Yeah,
don't
who
even
put it out?
know.
I'm looking
This
it
was
up.
put out by Biff Bang Pow. I've never even heard of this maker, dude.
Biff Bang Pow.
Biff Bang Pow. Like, what else did they officially licensed product? So he signed off on this. That's something. Yeah, no, exactly, gamer guy. He looks like a robot chicken character. Exactly.
It's going for $100 on eBay.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm tempting. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I love the story behind this. And go ahead. I will piggyback off that after when it's my turn. How many more things you got?
I just got a couple.
Okay, so we'll pace. No, me too. So I got 2 more. So we'll go keep going the way we're going.
My next one. So I kind of acquired these later. So I'm really big into well, I grew up big into like listening to AM radio stuff, and I've talked about that before. Really big into UFOs, big into paranormal. Of course, one of my favorite broadcasters is Art Bell, and I used to listen to his shows, bedtime, till 2 a.m, listening to conspiracies and whatever. He had a great voice, great radio show. He brought on some awesome guests. I was kind of talking to you about it last time about the Amityville Horror. He did that interview with the main guy from Amityville Horror and the real guy, Lutz.
George
Lutz.
George Lutz.
Which is awesome. I listened to that.
DeFeo or Lutz?
Lutz.
Okay.
The real guy.
Well,
the real
okay.
George
DeFeo
Lutz
was the person that committed the real crime.
Yeah.
And Lutz bought the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lutz.
But he said, I guess Lutz tried to get DeFeo. He tried to help out DeFeo by trying to get him less years in prison. What's that?
So why wouldn't you help out that fucking weirdo?
No, but I guess because he got possessed as well. So I don't know. But
my ass. I love that story too, but it's the biggest crock of shit. Do you believe that?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Dude, come on. That guy was such a fucking con artist. I love that stuff too, and I believe in it, but this guy was a fucking snake oil salesman. No, nothing about that story is real, dude. I love Amityville Horror, and I take it as a complete work of fiction, and I love it for being a work of fiction.
I don't know, because like some of the priests and stuff, I listened to interviews with some of the priests, and they were pretty convincing as well. So, I don't know. I believe it could be real, but he came out with a couple books, and one is The Quickening, which is an autograph book. Of course, he died like 5 years ago, so I think it's kind of cool to have autographs from your favorite, some of your favorites that have passed away, that sort of thing.
Speaking of which, I was just thinking, I can't find my JDF 8x10s they sent me with the T-shirt and that whole all those packages and stuff he sent us at one time, and I just it's one of those things I think I lost in the mail, and I wish I had it now. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
And then his other book, basically biography, or his autobiography. So, and then I got that one's signed as well. So, just I don't know. I think they're kind of cool pieces. They're not worth anything, but to me, like looking back at my childhood and just little things like that is what I looked forward to when I was a kid. Listening to AM radio or watching shitty VHS movies, just things like that, man. And I still do them to this day. Brings me back.
That's cool, man. Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off my last one, and this is a relatively new piece to my collection. It's a couple years old. Let's see, can't really. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, okay.
My handwritten Scott Ian lyrics for my
Yeah, that's
favorite
awesome.
my favorite Anthrax song, Only. And he look,
That's cool.
the drawing he did of himself looks just like that shitty figure, dude.
It does.
I was like, what does it say? Yeah. I love how he puts a stupid little fact in there as if I don't know. Like that's what his little speech bubble's saying. He's like, "Did you know that the killer Bob from Twin Peaks is in this video?" Yeah, I did, Scott. Thanks. Thanks for that.
Did he personalize it to you or no?
I asked him not to.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that's cheesy. I don't like personalized stuff. He personalized he personalized the 8x10.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
He did that, and that's when he gave me the stupid
That'd be
fucking
perfect. Yeah.
Game of Thrones White Walker.
Oh,
I'm
God,
like,
yeah.
it's so cheesy, dude. And he wrote on there like, Aaron, Walkers rule. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you give me that? Like, is this like backlog inventory you got? Or it's like you just had to get rid of this one?
Boomer Ian talking there.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, no, that's all right. But yeah, he could have sent a Walking Dead one because he played a zombie in Walking Dead 2, which is also called Walkers. If I would have got that one, that would have been even worse because that's a little bit more cringe, I think, nowadays.
Walkers rule.
Yeah, dude. Fucking cringe, dude. But anyway, and it's funny because he started doing those in COVID. Like they were, he had windows where he was just doing that on request and you pay him money. Yeah. I mean, I paid for it. And it was really cool. And I kind of regret it because, of course, like anything, you're going to act like, hey, I'm just going to do this for a period of time. And you're not going to be able to do it again. Oh, I want to get on it. And now he just started doing them again. And now he's doing the same thing. Whatever song you want, he'll personalize, he'll write the lyric. He doesn't care. Now he's doing it on even better paper where it's like art, like graphic paper. It looks fucking sweet. I'm like, damn it. Anyway, mine's on really, really good professional stock, but it looks like Nicolas Cage getting the Declaration of Independence or something,
It kind of does. Your next one should be Bret Michaels. Every rose has its thorn.
Like, ask Scott Ian to write down the lyrics to Every Rose Has a Thorn.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
But yeah, okay. So that's that one. That's pretty modern. What's your last one, right?
Yeah. So my last is kind of my white whale / what I have already. So these two back here, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead poster, the one sheets, are my two. And then my white whale is Night of the Living Dead 68. If I can have those three all right next to each other, I'd be happy. But I'm not going to spend $1,500 or $2,000 on a freaking one sheet poster
of Night of the Living Dead. Wow.
Yeah, but that is my white whale. Maybe someday when I'm an old man, I'll get it. I don't know.
Now, how impossible is it? Totally just impossible or improbable to find rolled copies? And would you ever trade up? It's impossible to find like a rolled Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
A rolled Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, any of those. They're all folded.
So, since you mentioned something on your wall, I didn't think about it, but I love this isn't my last one, but my quarter scale TMNT 90. I still love these things. They're not impossible to find. Like you can buy them in the aftermarket. In a couple of them, you can still find in stock. But I don't care, man. It's not about rare. for me.
Yeah.
These are awesome, dude. I will never part with these. I love them. They just represent one of my favorite properties and one of my favorite movies ever. So yeah, I wish I could say I have as cool a one sheet as Dawn of the Dead, but I love my TMNT 90. I mean, you guys can't see it; it's all off screen here. Like, I have a my setup's not unlike Todd's, what you see here, but you're not seeing that because it's on this wall, and I have like 3 big one sheets. I've got like my record collection over here and a bunch of shit. Yeah, it's just all about angles. It kind of makes you wish I had my desk in the corner of a room again, so you could like get the whole the whole room.
Yeah,
Um,
I got posters all around my room, so I have
yeah,
tons of stuff.
we should do like I'm in the middle of doing some reorganizing on some of these rooms and getting. We should do like tour videos. Like I like make little videos and put them up as shorts or put them on the Patreon. I will when I finish my office, which I'm doing now. I'll do videos of everything.
I'll do a Patreon exclusive for that stuff.
Yeah, I could do that too. But anyway, on my wall, I guess my favorite thing on my wall is my TMNT 90 one sheet because it's probably the most expensive, and it's not that expensive. I think it's a couple hundred, $200.
Mhm.
You know, it's a $200. And I have, and the other posters I have up here are really cool, but you know, they're not like particularly super valuable. Like I got Ghostbusters 2, like because I can't afford the originals, so I just settle with the sequels I also like. So I have Ghostbusters 2. Sorry guys, that's an alarm. And I have Batman Returns. And obviously, Batman 89 is going to be a little bit more money, but I don't mind it because I actually like Batman Returns marginally even better than the original. So it works out. I could even say same thing about Ghostbusters 2. I got more of a sentimental attachment to Ghostbusters 2 than I have to Ghostbusters 1. And I can't afford either an Alien or Aliens one sheet because those are pricey as hell. But I have
Yeah.
Alien 3 on a wall you can't see. And I'm like, you know what? I like Alien 3. The poster's still cool. I'll take it and pay nothing for it.
Yeah, like some of these I have, of course, I have What Can You Not See? Pet Cemetery 2, the one sheet of that. I have a one sheet of Total Recall here. I have
Oh,
a
is it actually up? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, yeah, it's on this side. I have a one sheet of which I have a bunch of one sheets that are like in the back of some of these. Like I flip them around sometimes. Blair Witch Project. I have House of Thousand Corpses one sheet. Um, Friday 13th Part 7 one sheet. I just have a bunch of posters that are like behind each other because occasionally I switch them out, maybe once a year.
Well, I wish I had I mean, I'm lamenting. I've got plenty, but I wish I had a big sprawling basement because you know, I have multiple rooms, but that's not as cool as like a big open plan basement where I had a lot of wall space to put a lot of shit up because like you said, even you have to like flip stuff around and rotate in and out and
Well, I don't know what I like. I mean, I love the one sheet posters, but I also love these 11 by 17s, the smaller ones. I think it looks really cool. They look really cool. You can actually see more than one poster. So,
well,
um,
I'm gonna those are all in my office now, like the smaller stuff, which I really like too. They're really convenient to, you know, display the art and not take up too much real estate. Plemke in the YouTube chat now, what's up? His holy grail is 2 PC games. The Pumpkinhead Blood Wings game, shit movie. Hopefully it's a better game. And Rihanna Rogue, Macintosh game and shrink wrap and big box. I have a certain affinity for those old PC big box
I
games.
do too. Yep.
Even even though I never really played the PC games, I just love the boxes, dude. If I wouldn't be contributing to some kind of sickness I'm trying to alleviate, I would collect those. But I love it. I would love to have like an MK3 big box.
I had the Mortal Kombat 2 big box I got from Kmart. I think it was like $20.
You
But
still
yeah,
have
it
it?
was pretty sweet. No, I don't still have it now.
Yeah.
They got destroyed.
And I remember at a point they sold a double pack. Selt. That's not a fucking word. They sold a double pack of 1 and 2. I remember that PC. You could buy
Mm.
like a 1 and 2 combo. It was together in one packaging. And then there were certain companies like IDOS that put out misshapen boxes, right? Like all the Tomb Raiders were like oblong, weird shaped. And I think IDOS put out the Squaresoft, like the Final Fantasy 7, I think had something like that too. They were just so cool. And then like Resident Evil was on PC as well, right?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
pretty sure. Yeah, they would just be cool to have. I actually have a few, and I just kind of like got over the years.
Do you have the
Nothing.
Resident Evil 1 long box on PS1?
No,
I'd
I don't
love to
have it.
have that.
It's
That's
it's not the DualShock version, but which the
oh,
DualShock version is better.
I just want the box. I don't
But the
care about.
original box, that's the original version that has the wonky music that everyone makes fun of. And when you get down to the lab, it's just really fucking
Oh,
clunky because they fixed that in the DualShock director's cut. Because they had you're talking about the original where it's just got the Chris Redfield and he looks like Anthony Perkins. He looks all
yeah,
fucked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was trying to collect the long boxes for a minute way back in the day. So I have some of those. Like I've got
These are
what do
going
I
for
got?
$100. Jeez.
Maybe that game. Yeah. So I have a small stack of the long boxes. I used to have my MK3 long box, which I loved. And I love that cover, dude. That was exclusive on
That
the
was
MK3.
awesome. Yeah.
It's just the big red skull and the MK3. It was so cool, man. It definitely kicked the hell out of the just plain black background of the 16-bit ports. But anyway, yeah, silhouette. If I were to collect them, obviously it would just be to have decor on the walls and stuff like that because they're cool. But my last thing. Oh shit, I forgot about this. I'll just say this one real quick. And it's actually not one of my favorite things. It just has a story. This is my Alf doll.
Oh yeah, I got that for you.
Yeah, okay. So this thing smells like shit. I love
Hmm.
it. It smells like an old like 80s rug, dude. It smells like a musty old house from like 35 years ago. And it's kind of great. And it's really not soft, dude. Like you'd think you'd be soft,
No,
but it
it's
feels like
not.
sandpaper, dude.
Yeah.
It's like the hair on it feels like it's like glued on and I don't know, but I had this doll when I was a little kid. Not this doll, but I had the same doll in elementary school and kindergarten because I actually watched Alf, which by the way is not a good show when you watch it as an adult. Like the show sucks,
Yeah, it does.
but it's such an insane concept. The idea that this got on TV, it's so
It's
friggin' bizarre.
it was funny back in the 80s, 90s. Yeah.
But anyway, the thing I think about, his mouth moves a little bit there.
Oh.
The thing I think about is I remember in kindergarten we had show and tell. And I remember this one week, they're like, okay, we're gonna do show and tell. Everybody bring your favorite stuffed animal that starts with the same letter as your name. And I'm go home thinking like I'm a boy. I don't really have stuffed animals for
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And B, my name's Aaron. Or even if I did have stuffed animals, what kind of animal will I have a stuffed aardvark? What a hard letter. And so I brought in my Alf, dude. Like Alf, Aaron. It's like this is a lot. And I remember I brought it in and she actually said, "That's not an animal." I'm like, and I remember, and we all get to have nap time, dude. Nap time, and I remember like cuddling with my Alf, sleeping on my little mat, dude. I remember like this yesterday, and I remember like a kid next to me. He's like, "Can I sleep with your Alf? Trade?" I'm like, "No." And I remember, dude. So I I don't know why. It was just a story, but I could say the same thing about like my Pee Wee doll, my Cherry, and stuff like that. I wish I could like display all that creepy shit, dude. But
I
none of the
think
dolls are on display.
I think I got that Elf doll at the Goodwill
I
for
wouldn't
like
be shocked.
a dollar because
Would
I
not be.
looked at that's an original one. So
Yeah. Oh, it definitely smells like it, Todd. Uh, but I enjoy it. Okay, but my real last one. Can you guess? Can you guess what my real last one is?
something Metallica related.
State of the art table fan. No, it's in this table fan box because they are not on display. I need to get some cases for them.
From
It's the
Metallica action
McFarlane.
figures.
Yeah, dude. These McFarlane Metallica figures that are all dusty. Dude. Look, they're yellowing. Dude, these have not been in sunlight and they're turning yellow.
Yeah, mine got destroyed in a move.
Dude, I mean, like, my pumpkin head is also yellow, the one that Bow to the
Yeah.
King gave me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess just over time, these turn yellow. I mean, even if I would have put like protective cases over them, would they have still turned yellow?
I'm sure they would have. It's
Dude,
probably some sort of
dude,
plastic.
these were not yellow last time I took these out a year or two ago. That's crazy. They just turned piss brown out of nowhere. But these are awesome, and I don't know if I should even like take them all out. I don't know. This is like, oh god, dude, these all like makes me want to open them now, dude. I've always wanted to open these, just play with them. But they,
I think I opened one. The other one I lost, I think.
but these have just been in the packaging for so long. It's like, why open them now? You know, I was like, ah. But I love those things, man. That was back in the day when McFarlane was actually on top. Yeah, Silhouette, pissed like the band Metallica. Exactly.
I thought you had the Harvester of Sorrow box, the big box.
Oh, that comes with the stage setup?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I never had that. Never had that. I wish I did, because it's a better display.
Well,
and
if you
stuff.
want to pay $250 for it, you can.
Is that what it goes for right now?
That's what people are bidding on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I did. But anyway, I got that for like my 13th birthday, I think, and my mom bought them for me. She went all around to like the comic book stores, dude, and she found them and collected them up for me and gave them to me. So it was really cool. And I love them, man. And I don't really know. I don't really know where to put like with the card back and the boxes like that. I don't want to nail them on the wall. I don't want that. It's just kind of a trashy look to me. I don't really want that. I don't know. It just kind of sucks that they're just like in a fucking table fan box, and literally they're turning yellow. So I feel like I got to do something with them.
Well, you just open them, dude. And you can display them. Do you really like Do you really like the boxes that much?
They are kind of cool. I do kind of like them, but
you're yelling.
I know. At this point, I'm tempted to. I'm also tempted to open up my McFarlane Pumpkinhead and just open that, put that on display, because that's really cool. But that's back when McFarlane was on top, because McFarlane used to be the king in town when it came to collectibles, and then he kind of died off. He kind of stopped, right? And then he let NECA come in and just take over and take the market, and other companies come. And so now McFarlane just made a comeback a couple of years ago, like making toys. And you know, they make McFarlane makes all the DC stuff, and he started coming out with Spawn stuff again in the last couple of years. I have a couple of those. They're really cool. And then he makes Spawn, McFarlane makes all the Mortal Kombat toys now, the MK11 stuff, which all those are really great. But I just think he dropped the ball, disappearing and stopping production and letting a new king come into town. And now there's so much people sharing the market now. So many different.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other people in the game now, so kind of sucks to suck, but I do like some of the old McFarlane stuff too. So anyway, but McFarlane does all the DC stuff. But yeah, that's it, man. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No, not really. I'm looking at the Mortal Kombat action figures on the McFarlane website.
I think they've I've got not all the variants, man, because McFarlane's really bad about re-releasing new paint, like variants where it's just repaints of the same sculpts. And I don't fall for that, but I have every character they've put out, at least some variant. And some of them are harder. Like I don't have the original Sub-Zero variant of the MK11 or the original Scorpion, because those ones sold out. But I've got ones that are close enough. But they've had a lot of different MK lines. I think Mezco put out Mortal Kombat toys at some point. They had a toy line that was for the Mortal Kombat 9 game, which I remember when those were out. Those look so rad. Now they pale in comparison to these. But obviously you have people like Storm, like that reptile I showed you last week. That's a Storm collectible. They put out Diamond Select has Mortal Kombat stuff. Everybody does. And of course you go all the way back to the 90s where they had like the G.I. Joe Mortal Kombat figures.
Yeah.
Those are so awesome, dude. And I would love to have some of those, even though they're very retro looking and they're not the coolest looking things. Like I remember a buddy of mine in 4th grade, he had the Johnny Cage Goro 2-pack. Oh, so fucking awesome, dude. I wish I had that. And then like Sub-Zero and Scorpion go for a lot of money, and they just look like little G.I. Joes. They look so retro, but they're so cool, man. And then of course they had Mortal Kombat Trilogy line of figures. They had the smaller ones, and then they had the big like the 16 inches like I got, or 12 inches. I have a few of those. I don't have all of them. And you know, those are cool too. The boxes are cooler than anything, but anyway. But Sean Boyle, you're showing up late, man. We're about to wrap up. We were talking about our collectibles, man. So sorry, man, but we're actually wrapping up. But hopefully, if you just joined us, you can watch us next week, because this video will go up Tuesday. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And again, if there's anybody out there that's staying silent and is new to the channel, please subscribe, like the video, help us out in the algos, leave a comment, follow us on twitch.tv/Revival House. If you guys want to support us any further, we do have a Patreon. If you're new as well, peruse the channel, man. We got peruse the archives. We got podcasts for days. Mac and Zach Save the World, or sorry, it's Kane Gang now. We got Cinema Enema. We got the Revival commentaries. Just so much stuff, man. So there's gonna be something for everybody. But we'll see you next week. And this topic, by the way, came from Silhouette, who's in the chat right now. So if anybody else has any suggestions on what you guys want to hear us talk about next week, it's kind of cool when you guys just toss out ideas for us to consider. So put it in the Discord. We have a free Discord for everybody, or put it in a comment on one of our videos. The last video, which I think it just went up today, most anticipated titles of 2023. Drop us a comment on suggestions for next week's live, and we'll take those to heart. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you later. Bye.
See you.